Have you ever thought you have, or maybe you have got a flying right elbow? In this video, I'm going to show you what the causes are and what you can do about it. Hi, I'm Peter Knight. I've created this channel to help you improve your golf even further. And if you click on the subscribe button and also the grey notification icon, then you won't miss any of the videos that I send out every week. Have you watched video footage of a swing and seen your elbow going way out the back or lifting up a lot, called the flying right elbow? When you do that, it's going to affect the path of the club, particularly at the top. And if you're a player who swings a club back to the top of the swing and the shaft of the club points to the right of the target, it may well be because this elbow moves up and it causes a twisting in your wrists and of course a movement of the shaft of the club. So what we need to do is find out what we need to do in order to stop that flying right elbow. Couple of things. One is your range of motion is going to affect your arm movement, so that as you swing back, there's a small amount of rotation where your arm swings out. So from here, if I have my elbow by my side and rotate my forearm out, I can get that to being parallel with my body. Now, a lot of people can't. You don't need that range when you're swinging the golf club back, but our bodies don't like going to sort of end of range motion. So if you need to develop a little bit more flexibility through your shoulder, then some exercises to do that are certainly going to help. Chances are though that even if you improve your range, if the pattern of your swing is to let that elbow lift, then you'll probably still do it unless you take some steps to addressing that. A couple of thoughts. When I set myself up, my elbow is pointed toward my right hip. As I begin my backswing, my elbow is still pointed toward my right hip. As I continue to the top of the swing, my elbow moves away from my right hip, so it's no longer pointed down here, but it is still angled down to some extent. So when I go back to the top of the swing, I want my right elbow to bend maybe about 90 degrees. I don't want it to fold up really closed, because as soon as I fold it up closed, it can lift. That's one cause, not the only one. Another drill that I can do is to place my right hand above my left hand above my right elbow, and then from here make a small swing just with my right hand. And as the club goes back, I'm not going to allow my arm to leave my side by too much. It does leave my side, it has to in the golf swing, but not by too much. So left hand above the right elbow, back to the top of the swing or shorter than the top, and now I can see that my arm is in quite a different position. It feels like my hands are lower as well. So there's a couple of different ways to look at that flying right elbow. The other cause, and probably one of the major causes, is trying to extend the swing back beyond the range that you're comfortable moving through correctly. So you may still be able to swing the club back a long way, and I've actually done a video on over swinging and the causes of that, so you might want to watch that, and there'll be a card to show you that. But when the club goes back, if I move back to here, and let's say this is the limit of my range of motion, after that my body doesn't want to go any further, so I'm going to try and force it to go back further, force my swing to go back further, then all of a sudden my wrists, my elbows, my arms, everything's going to start to move out of place. Probably my body will as well. So if you need to limit the length of your backswing, do so that it stays at a workable length, good length for you. You'll probably find that your power doesn't reduce very much at all. So even if I make a fairly short swing, as the club goes back and through, you find my elbow control looks pretty good. And the ball's traveled virtually normal distance. So I'm not really losing power. In fact, my body's going to be able to work better, sequence better when I'm swinging the club and working within a range that's comfortable for me. So practice a couple of those drills there to watch what your right arm, what your right elbow is doing, and you should find that you'll actually get greater control, better movement of the shaft of the club, and of course, more accurate shots.